Good morning, class. How are all of you doing? Hope you are doing fine and your schools are also going fine. So, together with that, we are also practicing here questions of NCERT. So, yesterday we left at figure it out 3 up to question number 2. So, today we will start with question number 3. Join A to other grid points in the figure by a straight line to get a right angle. What are all different ways of doing it? So, in the first part, there are 4 dots and these dots are horizontal. So, we have joined them and named AB. So, how many right angles you can make it out? So, right angle is of shape L. Always remember this. So basically you have to make shape L out of it. So there are 2 dots above A. So you join those 2 dots and you get right angle number 1. Similarly, there are 3 dots below A. So join these 3 dots and you get angle number 2. Now this is at point A. Now going towards B. How many points are above B? There are 2 dots. Again join them and you get mirror image of L. Then similarly there are 3 dots below B. So you get, this is number 3 and this is number 4. So by joining these all points, we get total, there are 4 right angles. That you can get from this. Moving on to the next. You have 3 slanting points. In this case, so what you have to do is, first you extend the extend the line in the backward direction. इस लाइन को आपको पीछे की तरफ extend करना है and then you have to find the dots which would make L shape. So those dots will make right angle. Similarly, the dots on the left side of AB would also form right angle like this. So this is one right angle, this is second right angle, this is at point A, and at point B also. So this is how you get right angles. Now I want to explain here that at point A you got right angle exactly L shape, you can have different orientation of these angles to get different directions or different orientation of angle. All of them would be 90 degree or right angle. This you always remember, that orientation does not change the measure of angle. Orientation only changes the direction but not the measure of angle. So in your questions you can have any type of direction, and like here in the second part you have what type of shape you are getting here, a slanting L. So you can have any orientation and the measure would be right angle only. So don't get confused because of the directions. Any L, any direction, if you are getting a shape L, would give you right angle. Now we move to next question. Question number 4. What does question number 4 says? Get a slanting crease on the paper. Now try to get another crease that is perpendicular to slanting crease. Now what is perpendicular to a crease? Perpendicular means when you have a right angle, then these two, and I name it, let's say A, O, B. So there are two rays here. One is OA and one is OB. When two rays make the shape L, then OA and OB are called perpendicular lines. So these two rays in a right angle are called as perpendicular line. So now the question says that make a crease on a paper. So let's make a crease on a paper. This is a slanting crease. So you get a slant over here. So let us draw the slant so that you are able to see it properly. So this is a slanting crease. Now what it is saying, that first part, how many right angles do you have? Try to get another crease that is perpendicular to the slanting crease. Now how would you get the perpendicular line for this slanting crease? You have to superimpose one part over the other. That means you have to fold the paper in such a way that these two lines overlap each other. So like this, you have these two lines overlapping each other. I have simply folded the lines such that they overlap each other. The fold that you get now is perpendicular to the first line. So if I draw it here, then this fold is a 90 degree. Now it's your choice. Even if you overlap, give it a small turn like this. You don't overlap whole of the paper over the other, whole of the line, instead of giving half turn, even if you give a small turn to the line such that it overlaps the other, again you would get a perpendicular line. So this line here, this crease or fold that I have got, here also when you draw it, it would be perpendicular. So one is when you gave it a half turn or just made a symmetry, one over the other, exactly one over the other. Half of the line lying here and half of the line lying below. So this gives you a perpendicular line. But even if you do not give half turn, you give smaller turn, then also you get a slanting line. And if you give more than half turn, again you would get a fold which is perpendicular to the previous fold. So here also I have given the turn more than half turn, so again you get a perpendicular line. So you can get any number of perpendicular lines. And why these are exactly right angle? Because they are forming shape L. So the first part answer would be, there are any number or infinite number of perpendicular lines that form right angle. And why they are right angles? They are right angles because each of them is of shape L. So they are all 90 degree. Part B, describe how you folded the paper so that any other person who doesn't know the process can simply follow your description to get the right angle. So this we have already done now, that you can give it crease on any side of the paper. Then you just draw a line over the crease anywhere. If you give it any fold here, you get a crease, and then you simply have to superimpose this line over the other part of the line. A part of line over the other part of the line, you simply have to superimpose each other. So superimposition theorem is really important, and you must learn this theorem, learn this method, so that you do not forget and you are able to solve the question. So for a simple man who doesn't know how to do this, you can simply tell it this way. So with this, the figure it out part is over. Now we move to classification of angles. Now classification of angles. Now few of the special type of angles we have already done. These are, one is straight angle, one is right angle, and another is you have one is also complete angle, means you give a full turn to a cover book and that gives you a complete angle. So these are the few angles that you have already done. Now these angles were special type of angles, but how to classify angles? They are classified with respect to, means with reference to right angle. We would define them Suppose you make a right angle. Now, starting from what we have learned in the definition of an angle, that an angle is turning of one ray over the other. So OA when turns and reaches OB, you get the marking of angle, you get the measure of angle. So if this is a right angle because it is L shape, if this turn is, if I take a ruler and turn it slightly but it is not going beyond OB, मतलब OB से आगे नहीं जा रहा, OA से मैं टर्न स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ और इसको यहाँ पर टर्निंग ले रही हूँ, तो यहाँ मेरा एक टर्न मैंने छोटा सा टर्न लिया तो ये इतना बना. अगर मैं इससे थोड़ा सा और ज़्यादा टर्न करूँ रूलर को, then I will get another line. If I turn it again, I will get another ray. Now all these rays are lesser than or right side of the OB. जो आपकी सेकेंड आर्म है राइट एंगल की, इट इज लाइंग, इट इज लेसर देन, लेसर और टर्निंग इज लेसर देन OB. OA से OB की टर्निंग से लेस है ये. और क्या कह सकते हो आप कि all the points lying on the right side of the right angle in this case would form a first type of angle which is called as acute angle. Acute angle means the angle which is less than right angle. So the turning is less than right angle. This is the whole turning from OA to OB. You get 90 degree. So all the turnings that are less than 90 degree would be called as acute angle. So first type of angle is acute angle. Now let's move further. I again make a right angle here. Now the turning is from OA to OB. This is right angle. Okay. Now if you turn the angle more than OB, means you make a ray more than OB in this manner. No of the point is on right hand side of the right angle. It is all on the left hand side of the angle. So I name it E, F, G. So in this case, all these angles are more than 90 degree. This is bigger marking, then this is further bigger marking, then this is further bigger marking, and you get angles, all angles on the left side of the right angle. So how is turning in this case? Turning is from OA going to OB, and after OB also you are increasing the turning and reaching to the left side. So all these angles are obtuse angle. But till what point would you go? You know what is straight angle? When two rays are exactly opposite to each other. जब दो रेज एकदम opposite बनाते हो आप, तो उसको आप नेमिंग करते हो स्ट्रेट एंगल की. जो ये हमने फर्स्ट एंगल पढ़ा था, स्ट्रेट एंगल. So all the turnings of the angle which are greater than 90 degree but less than straight angle, they are called as obtuse angle. So what is the definition of obtuse angle? Angles which are more than right angle but less than straight angle are called as obtuse angle. Okay, so have you understood both of them? If the turning is less than 90 degree, then it is called as acute angle. If the turning is more than 90 degree but less than straight angle, then it is called as obtuse angle. Now the question that has been asked here is, okay, so this is done, I think. So now we get three types of angles. One is acute, another is right angle, and last one is obtuse angle. So now we do the figure it out. Identify acute, right, obtuse and straight angles in the previous figure. So our next figure it out starts. So I hope you have understood up till now. So figure it out number 4. Question number 1 is, now see the boxes. I would show you the box here. These are the boxes. You have to identify acute, right, obtuse and straight angle. So there are 3 boxes given in this case. So how would you identify these angles? So obviously, if the angle shape is not L, if the angle shape is L, then it is right angle. If the angle shape is less than right angle, orientation can be anything, direction can be anything, but it should be less than the L shape. So that would be acute angle. And if the orientation, if the turning is more than right angle, then that would be obtuse angle. So this is our definition, and it should not be straight angles. What is straight angle? When two rays are exactly opposite to each other, then that is straight angle. So like this you have to classify. So let's see the box 1. The first angle seems to be like this. So for the reference, I have given you this figures. First angle is like this. So this angle is, if I make a right angle, though the procedure would be longer, so you don't have to make right angle, but I am making it to make you understand. In this, now the orientation can change. This is important point over here. Direction can change. What is 90 degree angle here? This is L shape, which is 90 degree. So you cannot say that from where do you start the turning. Here the ray is on this side, left side. The ray is on left side and your turning would be like this to go till the second arm. Can you see here? The ray from starting from here, you turn it and going till the second arm. And what would be my right angle? Right angle would be further turning to give L shape. Now this L is mirror image of L, but still it is 90 degree. This you remember always, whether the direction of right angle is different, the measure would not change. This would be the right angle. This is also right angle. The only thing is that direction is changed. Here the line is towards right side, here it is towards left side. So this you have to keep in mind, that your turning would start from the horizontal line whichever you have. Here the turning would be like this. It would start and go towards left side or anti-clockwise, and in this case the turning would be again anti-clockwise and going till the second arm. So turning is important. Unless you understand the turning of the two arms, you won't be able to conclude which type of angle. So here my turning is starting from left side and going till here. So this is less than L shape. So this is an acute angle. This is not obtuse angle. So see here, the turning would be like this. Whenever you have been given an angle, first you make the marking of the angle. You would start from one arm and go to the next, the second arm. So you would get the turning. This turning is very much less than whole of the 90 degree. So this is an acute angle. Now we see the other angles in the box. Now the orientation or the direction can be anything.